Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Sandell with your math lesson for this week. This week we are going to look at subtraction. So last week we did addition. This week we're doing subtraction. We are going to do a couple quick little activities together to practice today. It's going to be very similar to what we did last week with addition, this time just using subtraction. So we are going to do a couple example problems, and moms and dads, that blue home connection for math that was sent home with all of your materials, that's something you can also pull out to give some extra practice for doing some of these subtraction problems. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the page that's in front of us. This is some pictures that we're going to take a look at. And so when we talk about subtraction, we are talking about taking away something. So last week when we did addition, we were combining numbers. We were combining two different groups to make one group and make a bigger number. So this week we're going to work on subtraction, which means we're going to take something away. And when you take something away, your number is going to get smaller. So when we do subtraction, you might hear me say minus, you might hear me say take away, and they both mean the same thing with subtraction. You are taking away. So let's take a look at the big book picture in front of us here on the screen. And we're going to just work through a couple of these activities together. So let's take a look first at back here in this picture. Let's take a look at the bowls that we have. So the first thing we're going to do when we go to make a subtraction problem is we're going to count how many of the objects there are all together. So for example, in this picture here, the bowls, how many bowls do you see all together? Go ahead and count how many bowls you see in this picture right here. Okay, so you should have counted 4 bowls. So what I'm going to do is take my pen and I'm going to go up here and write. I'm going to write the number 4 because that's how many bowls there are all together. And then we're going to take away. And so this little sign here, that is the sign for take away. And that symbol is going to remind us that we need to subtract. So a little different than the addition symbol from last week. So 4, take away. And we're going to look at this picture and take away those 2 bowls that fell. So take a look at the picture, and there are 2 bowls on the ground that fell. So we're going to write the number 2, and we're going to put the equal sign, which is the same from last week. So we have 4 bowls. Take away the 2 that fell on the ground. So how many bowls are left and haven't been spilled? So right here, you should have counted 2. So when we look at this number sentence, we would read it as 4 minus 2 equals 2. Or you could say 4 take away 2 equals 2. Either way is fine, however you want to read it. And so when we're practicing these number sentences, it's important to go ahead and make sure that when you are counting that you don't miss a picture. And if to help you with that, if it helps to cross off, you can do that also. I know that helps some friends, or sometimes you can use your fingers too. The number sentences we're working on this week that we're going to be writing go up to number 10. Most of them are going to stay up to 5. They go up to 10 sometimes. And if they do that, you can use your fingers, which also helps. So 4 take away 2 is 2. Okay, let's move on to another problem. Let's take a look at the apples that are in the tree. So in this picture, there are some apples. Some are in the tree and some are not. But again, when we're writing that subtraction problem, we need to count first how many there are all together. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get my pointer here. Okay, so let's count how many apples there are. And let's look on the ground. So let's start with the ones on the ground. Here we go. 1. So let's count how many apples there are together. Let me get my pointer. Let's see if that works. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 apples all together. So the first number we're going to write is 6. And then we're going to do that subtraction symbol, that take away, that little line. And we're going to figure out how many apples fell out of that tree. 1 apple fell out of the tree. So you can see it's down here on his head, on the monkey's head down here. So there's only 1 apple. Look around. Do you see any more apples that fell? No. Good. So just that 1 apple. So we're going to write that 1 right here. Again, we're writing that number sentence. Make your equal sign. And we have 6 apples. Take away that one that fell on the ground equals how many? Well, let's do this one by using our fingers. So I'm going to hold up 6 fingers first. So I have 6 fingers, and I'm going to take away 1. How many are left? 5. Good. So then we're going to write the answer as 5 at the end of our number sentence. So we have 6 apples minus that 1 apple that fell equals 5 apples. Let's do one more quick practice together. And let's look at the children this time. There are 3 children on the screen. There are 2 boys and there is 1 girl. So all together there are 3 children. So that's the first number we need to write. So we are going to right here write the number 3 because there are 3 children. And we are going to take away, we're going to use that minus sign, take away. How many children do you see in this picture that are running away? Go ahead and count them real quick for me. Okay, so I hope you got 2. There were 2 children running away. So we have 3 children altogether minus those 2 children running away equals how many children were left. So 3 children, take away these 2 equals how many were left. Just this one. And again, when you're looking at pictures and doing number stories, if it helps you to cross off, you can do that. So there were 3 children altogether, and then these 2 ran away. So you can just put like a line if that helps when you're doing problems. And then it shows you can circle what's left. And so that would be 1. So we would read this 3 minus 2 equals 1. In the next couple of videos, those are going to be the workbook pages for this chapter. So there are 5 workbook pages, and there will be 2 videos. So the first video will have 2 workbook pages. It's kind of a good breaking point for that. And then the last video, which is video 3 on your weekly schedule, that will have the last 3 workbook pages. And so parents, when you are working through the workbook, they can go ahead and just do it along with me as extra practice. But if there is any other practice you want to do outside of those with subtraction problems, a couple of the activity ideas that you could do are similar to what you might have done for addition. So you can use objects at home, cubes, anything to help you practice subtraction problems. And go ahead and you get out a paper and pencil and have them practice writing the number sentences. You can also use those number cards. That was also an idea with addition. You can use number cards to have them build a number sentence. So sliding the cards to make a number sentence like 3 minus 2 equals 1. Just so using different ways to practice, just like you did with addition. So great job today, boys and girls. Go ahead. If you're still working for the day, you can move along to the workbook pages. If you're done, then you can pick up with the workbook pages another day. Okay, bye. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon.